The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadow creature that hides deep inside.
And we're live. Good morning. Happy Sunday. We're here a little earlier than usual, but so if you're asleep, you're the lucky one. Real quick, we don't promote enough indies in this show. We've been talking about we talk about Will Eisner, Joe Kubert, a lot of different creators that talked about war and comics. It's been so busy with the war in Iran. I think in the last two episodes, we barely talked about comics. So I just wanted to mention real quick. This is Kevin Powers. I bought this from him some years ago. It was called Patriot One. It was an indie book. I picked it up. I think it was at Baltimore Comic Con. I'm not friends with this guy. I don't really know him, but I did read this book and I found it interesting. If you love G.I. Joe or espionage or like any type of story that deals with like Mission Impossible type stories. I mean, this is about Delta Force and Afghanistan. So it's actually a good book. It has really good art. Pretty straightforward. It's kind of like an action story. It has a cinematic feeling, like a movie. It's not many words. It's like one of those summer blockbuster films that has like little G.I. Joe files in the back of each character. It's pretty neat. I thought it was a great book. I enjoyed reading it. It's got cool art. So, Patriot One. Without further ado, let's bring our friend from France, Miguel Guerra. Here we go. How's it going, man?
I am back.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Here to preach the good word.
Yeah, it's like
whatever that word is. I don't know.
Whatever that word is. Bringing to light the beacon of light in a cesspool of darkness and shit.
Yeah, pretty bad. Some bad shit.
Pretty bad.
None of it should have been done, but oh well. Here we are.
I mean, we talk about the good old days and when America was great. That's what we hear on TV all the time from these Trumpers, and I'm just like, when was that?
Exactly.
I mean, you could just go through history. Is there a period in time where America was great?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of entertainment, I would say no, because this shit was always going on. We've always been at war. We've
always been in a recession.
Always been in a recession, right?
With the exception of maybe the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Overall, shitty times. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're 70s babies, right? I mean, we had problems with Iran when we were children.
The Iran hostage crisis.
Right, the Iran hostage crisis. Nothing's really changed, right? And we still had the same players, and even though the faces were different, it was the same countries involved, right? So, I mean, I don't know if you ever read this book, and I'm sure, I'm 52 now. I got to think about how old I am. But it's like, this is a book that came out, I think, in the late 80s or early 90s. This is called By Way of Deception. I think this. I'm a slow reader, so I'm only on chapter 3. Because, I'm called a toilet bowl reader. I only read when I'm on the toilet. It's like, like everything go through. It's like,
Interesting.
It's not like when I was young, I'd get my comic books, or like my books and curl up on the couch and read for hours. And, those days don't exist anymore. Now it's mostly like they've been replaced with scrolling through videos.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Annoying my friends.
It's not the same. Like I can read digital books.
Yeah.
On my tablet because I have an old tablet.
Right.
But it's not the same on the eyes.
It's not the same on the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about, and they're actually finding kids are starting to go back to books. Like my daughter, she's 15. She loves buying books and reading books.
Yeah, yeah.
She'll do the webtoons thing, but overall, there's something. It's just different on the eyes.
Talking about
Like
webtoons, does she read your comic? Has she read your stuff?
she says she does.
Yeah. I can tell you, my kids never read my comics. My wife never read my comics. It's like, which is okay because I can write whatever I want. I don't have to worry about.
That's right. That's right. I guess that's different than someone like Chappelle, who his wife is gonna hear what he said.
Right. Like, what did you say?
Yeah, no. Well, actually, my wife's my co-writer, so
yeah. Yeah. That's
cool.
So she's kind of like your editor too, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, like we collaborate, we write together, but she does the bulk of the writing. I'll come up with concepts. A lot of times we'll play this tennis back and forth. We can do this, we could do that. Hey, what do you think of this? I'm the visual storyteller. So I'm just like, no, maybe we should do it this way or that way, that kind of thing. It's kind of hard to know where some things end and some things begin.
Do you ever have that Basquiat Warhol moment where Warhol does a really nice piece and then Basquiat just crosses it out and then throws it of it? And then it's like,
no, because she doesn't do the drawing, but she might be like, you know what?
I mean, look at that's what story wise. Yeah.
Oh, story wise. No, sometimes it'd be like it hasn't happened in a long time actually, but I think the hands are too small. I'm like, oh shit. I gotta that moment where it's like, oh man, I just spent all this time. Now I gotta redo pretty much half of it. But it hasn't happened in a while. Thank God. Or sometimes it's a better angle this way or better angle that way. Much easier to draw a whole panel from scratch than try to fix one.
Yeah, I think when I was newlywed, I used to have my wife look at my artwork. She wouldn't read it, but she'd look at the artwork and say, those colors don't work, or that leg looks too short, or that arm looks too short. And that was kind of good to have like an editor, but now she doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I have my daughter too.
Kids, it's like
my daughter too, and Susie to do that, but I haven't had that yet in a bit, which is good, which means actually I've improved somehow.
Are any of your kids actually drawing as well, or do they?
No, they both can. I've taught both of them. My son wants to go into game design.
Oh, cool.
He loves that. And my daughter, yeah, she does a lot of stuff. I've posted some of her stuff, but I haven't posted in a while. She does crochet like her mom.
Oh, nice.
So if those who want to see it, although we're migrating the website because we're changing the name, but if you want to, at 7robots.com, you can see some of my comics, some of the stuff I've made, and some of Susie's crochet. She did
nice.
prints. She does a Josephine Baker, which is actually sold at the Josephine Baker Museum here in Paris. And it's not in Paris, it's in southern France.
Right. Wow.
This little doll type thing. And amigurumi, it's called. That's what she does. She loves that. So yeah, I mean, everyone's
like Japanese.
Yeah, it's like you make those really cutesy little dolls, and it's a way of it's a crochet thing. I'm probably gonna embarrass myself, but it's a way of how you do it, the stitch it, create these dolls. She got into it because my son loved Plants vs. Zombies. And when we were living in Spain, we couldn't really get any of the toys. There weren't really any toys of that. So she started making him Plants vs. Zombies toys. So she did do some crazy, funky Thor helmet. It was hilarious. I think I got it kicking around here somewhere. Yeah. So
time flies so fast, right?
Oh man, especially when you have kids, you notice it more.
Yeah.
If you don't have kids, it seems like everything just moves along.
Right.
But with kids, it's just everything speeds up because you're seeing them literally grow.
Yeah. It's like my son's about to go to college,
Same here.
He's away on this debate club thing now in Albany. And I was just like, telling my wife, parents go to those things, but he never wants us to attend.
Gets nervous.
Yeah, no, he wants to be on his own, which is good. It's like he's always around us, so it's just like that's his weekend. Once a year, he says this is his final year doing it. He's a senior. He gets to hang out in the hotel with these kids from other high schools, and in New York, and he's made
Makes sense.
Yeah,
It's really hard as a parent because there's a habit for parents to see their kids as little.
right.
And when they sort of shoot up, you still try to treat them like that. You have to realize,
Yeah,
and that causes friction. And then you realize, oh, yes, they're individuals. They have to separate. They have
right.
to find their own path. And it's important for them to have things like that on their own.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That way it's a way of sort of like, oh, I'm away from my parents. I'm just me.
Right.
So it's understandable.
Yeah, and it's funny when they have friends that grow up. Like, let's say when they're little, you have these parents. Like, we're friends with one of his friends' parents from elementary school, and they're like, "Hey, let's just get together." So once a year we'd get together. Then we had the pandemic that didn't happen, and then all of a sudden these guys weren't friends anymore. So every time we have them, they barely talk to each other.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I was like, "What the fuck's going on? You guys are together. Why don't you go hang out? What's going on?" They're like, we don't talk. We're not cool with each other anymore. So it's kind of like weird that.
Probably different interests, different views
Yeah.
on things. It happens. It happens.
My son turned into the Michael J. Fox of Family Ties. He's like,
Can you hear how much change is a quarter when it drops to the floor?
yeah.
I used to think that was hilarious. That's a 375. How do you know? Well, the coin, But it is interesting, though. Like, the younger generation does have a habit of being more conservative.
Yeah. It's weird.
The way things are being laid out, I don't think we're going to have a chance to be conservative anymore. That's just how things are just, rolling. My kids, I don't know. I've given enough room that I'm like, they'll argue with me if they think something's stupid. And I give them that room.
Yeah.
But I've also taught them to be very critical. Like Susie and I always like, are you sure that's true? So it's important too, but neither one of them, yeah, they're just them. They're just characters. One's very introverted, the other one's very extroverted. My daughter, you just wouldn't mess with.
Right.
She's the class representative.
Mm.
Yeah, an A student. Well, my son could be if he wanted to.
Right.
He's like, yeah. But plus school here is a lot tougher.
Right.
School here in France
More
is
rigorous.
yeah, the curriculum is very tough.
Mm.
Plus they keep fucking around with it all the time.
Oh.
Yeah, so one year it's like, we're going to do this. Then halfway through the year, no, we're going to do this. And it's not the schools because it's as a national curriculum.
Right.
So it's the government who just decides, okay, we're going to switch things up. Yeah. I'm not going to disparage the guy because I can't vote for him. I'm not French. But as my kids have said to me, he has united the entire country left and right against him. They hate him so much. That much, which is interesting because actually today it's municipal elections throughout France. It's the second round. They had the first round. The left won handsomely.
You brought something up interesting. So you can't vote. So are you considered like a resident? You got like a green card or something while you're there?
I'm an EU citizen, dude.
Yeah, because I know you're from Spain. You were born in Spain, right?
Yeah, I was a resident here, but I got my EU citizenship so I could stay here.
Very cool.
But I can't vote here. But I can vote in Spain.
So you can only vote in Spain. Interesting.
I can live, work here, do whatever I want here. But I'm just like, even if I was a resident, I can't vote here.
Oh, do you go back to the election during election time to Spain and vote? Can you?
No, it would be because I just recently got my citizenship.
Mm,
There were some things that were, and this is how fucked up fascism is. Because I was born in the 70s.
mm,
When my mom married my dad, the laws were the Franco laws, the fascist laws didn't allow for her to remain Spanish. She had to become American, which she did.
oh, so she couldn't have dual citizenship.
No, they didn't allow for dual citizenship.
Mm,
Even though I was born there in Spain, and this is the conundrum, right?
mm,
In the 80s, they got rid of that, but they were still honoring the laws from the 70s. So
mm,
technically, I was born there. They couldn't kick me out when I was living there. I mean, I got my residence there.
right.
By the way, my wife's also European too.
Mhm.
So it's this weird, like, I'm in the place that I was born. My family's from here,
Mm.
but I can't officially be. So I'm like, fuck this shit.
It's good.
And so I ended up here in France.
Mm,
And then as I was just recently looking last year, and I'm like, I wonder what the hell they're up to. They're like, oh, they allowed dual citizenship. Oh, they got rid of these fucking laws. So I got it all done. I got my both my European and my Spanish citizenship at
nice.
50 fucking 2 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. But yeah, so but
Better
no,
late than never, right?
yeah, I can do absentee. And actually, this year is going to be very critical because the far right, which are all Zionists
Right.
and Looney Tunes, basically they're like asking. They were at one point asking the Trump administration to bomb and take out the current president Sanchez like he did Maduro, which I'm like, that's just fucking treason. You know, I wouldn't ask anyone to come do that to us in the United States.
Right.
That's our business. If we want to get rid of them, that's fucking up to us. And same thing goes for Spain. You don't fucking do that shit, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah. So,
Very different from the U.S. The politics and the way we. They,
well, because they have like six different they can be like up to 6, 7. Some cases, some countries have 12 parties, but you make coalitions and
right.
shit.
Right.
Um,
Which I think they need to do that here because I remember that was what was it called? The Mothers of something used to sponsor our candidates' speeches, like the town halls where we see it on TV. I forgot the name of that.
that's right.
And then it got hijacked after Ross Perot almost won because the candidate with the most money had to pay for the candidate with the least amount of money's airtime so they could have equal time. And then when
Mm.
Ross Perot, who was independent, almost beat the Democrats and Republicans, they stopped getting funded. They stopped having these ladies fund this organization, fund that, and the Republicans and Democrats started funding their own things, and they kind of pushed the independents out, and then anyone else that wanted to. So that's when their duopoly became more like a uni party. You know.
It's kind of like there's rumors that Coca-Cola and Pepsi are owned by the same company,
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
or like Marvel, DC signing up and
Yeah.
trademarking superhero together, which is illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah. Yeah, we dealt with that. That we should do an episode on that, talking about
Mhm.
our experiences with that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know if I told you, Comic Con actually came after me after my trademark of Bronx Heroes Comic Con. We made a deal verbally, but then nothing was put on paper, and then my trademark lapsed. Now I incommunicado. So I'm like, now I got to go back and refile, pay the fee. It was already approved because I've had it for 15 years.
Mhm.
So I dropped it with this promise that they were going to integrate me into the Comic-Con family of shows. That means I would be able to start and advertise with San Diego Comic-Con,
Mm.
which was a good deal, but then it didn't happen. So I felt like it was like a honey trap, like, hey, we'll integrate you to this. And We had phone calls back and forth talking about it. He was talking to the partners and then nothing. And then my thing lapsed. I'm like, I think I should have had a lawyer for that one, but you know me, I'm like the Gomez Adams.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's funny.
You know,
That would have been totally cool. It could still happen. I mean,
it could still happen. It's just yeah, because I allow it to lapse. But
And they're
yes,
probably like, "Oh, good," because you know what they're like.
right,
Money men, man.
right. It is so, but I'm going to change it to Bronx Heroes Comic Conference. That's
It's funny because here they have a Paris Comic Con,
mhm,
but that's more recent.
mhm.
What they usually call it is Comic Festival,
Right,
which I think is more friendly. It's less like I'm getting a business suit, I'm going down to the Comic Con, right? You know, like it's less business like.
right,
Although I guess if you shorten it to con, it kind of softens it a bit. But I think festivals like you're celebrating it,
right, right, right.
you know. So I always thought that was cool. I love the Mocha Comic Festival. I
Yeah.
always thought it was a good way of celebrating, right?
Hmm.
Um, you
Yeah.
know,
Good luck getting into that show these days. It's impossible. It's like it's
really?
it's locked in to the point where you just see the same faces every year. I haven't even bothered to go. I think it already happened like 2 weeks ago. I didn't even go.
Has it grown?
Yeah, they keep changing the space, so it's gone from bigger spaces to smaller spaces.
Is it
But
still at the
nothing.
Armory?
No, they moved it from there. It was in the west side, like a few blocks away from the Javits, and that was like a 2-floor building. It was
Mm,
big, but not as big as the Puck building.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was then they moved it again to 23rd Street in Chelsea,
Mm,
or somewhere in Chelsea. I went to that one year, and that was even smaller. So
yeah.
who knows what the hell's going on? It's like
Well, you know,
it makes it harder to get in when you get a smaller space.
I think the big problem is that indies always get sidelined, and I really appreciate that you did that for the because it's true. We do speak a lot about bigger books. Um, Indies are important because I think really indies are where the real culture will eventually emerge from.
Right, exactly.
All the other corporate stuff, like people complaining about, oh, you know, Star Wars, it's like that's already said and done.
Right,
Star Wars is 50 some years old now. You know, Superman's right around the corner from being 100.
right,
You know,
exactly.
so I mean, everything that's been said and done has been said and done with it in some variation at this point.
Right.
But the new stuff that will emerge, stuff that sort of touches us right now, comes from the indie stuff, and it doesn't give the. It's I haven't been stateside, but it's not given the proper.
No, it's not. Still to this day, nothing has really changed since you left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it's sad because then we're like, well, we want something new, but then everyone doesn't want to buy something new or risk it.
Right,
And, you know, unless it's got a movie,
right.
you know, all of a sudden it's got a movie, then people want to go see it. And there has to be a way to promote indies. And I felt this a lot too, is I'm going to be getting back into the printing game because I've been doing more digital for the past 10 years or so, 14.
Mhm.
And there has to be a better way for us to promote globally. And, you know,
Agreed.
in the respective countries we're in. And I think it might have to be sort of like a loose alliance. And start seeing each other as being competitors, but seeing each other as
Right.
uh,
Co-sponsors.
co-sponsors and yeah, like creating a whole community of our own. If they're not going to let us in, then we'll just create our own. Fuck them,
Right,
you
exactly.
know. But that also means like heavily promoting indies, giving space for people to talk about it. It
Mhm,
means it's building an entire network.
mhm,
Because you know there are books that won't get published. They just won't get published. And they might be very good, but they
mhm.
might be a little bit of a political hot potato.
Right.
Like I could tell you with which was originally super corporate. Well, it was superheroing, super corporate heroes. Now it's past due. When I sent it into Diamond, Diamond carried my first book, Samurai Elf. Carried my second one too, begrudgingly, because the first one had met the quotas. They didn't tell me anything about quotas. So here they are. They sign me up. They don't tell me about quotas. So
Right.
hearing them collapse, like goodbye.
Meanwhile, the mainstream industry have no quotas. It was only installed for independents.
Independence. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Marvel and DC had no quotas.
no quotas. Well, I know that because when I was working at Heavy Metal, the VP there, I don't know if he's longer with us. His name was Howard. I loved Howard. We were having a discussion. He was like, just bitching about Diamond. Like
Mhm.
once he had sold like a couple of calendars, Heavy Metal calendars.
Right.
They're like, no, hasn't met the quota, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, come on. How hard is it for you to take a couple of calendars? And he says, I've worked in this industry for years and
Right.
just toss it in the back of a truck just to deliver it. Like
Right.
this costs you fuck all.
Right.
So they were also screwing over Heavy Metal, by the way.
Right. Right. Which was considered independent, right?
Considered independent.
Yeah.
At one point, I had, I think, a circulation of 200,000.
Yeah. Yeah. They were big.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, like, if they're screwing over Heavy Metal, which is relatively, for indies, a very big indie.
Big indie because they're in Italy and all that other stuff, right?
Well, yeah. Well, they because I did some translation for both NBM and actually I did the Luis Royo books, some of them for NBM and some for Heavy Metal. They purchased those stories from over here. So it might be a graphic novel here. They'll purchase it. They get high priority, which I was thinking, shit, does that mean now that I live here, if I got a story in Heavy Metal, now I get high priority for more page space?
Right.
Usually you would get maybe, if you were an indie American, you probably get about 4 pages if you're lucky. And I got about 4 or 5, 6 pages at one point
Right.
in Heavy Metal. And so they purchase it and they just reprint it stateside. And then they put it and compile it into a graphic novel from there. And that's why it's that European style, the large format, which I actually like the large format.
Same, yeah. I started doing that. Yeah.
You get to see the art and,
Yeah. And it's easier to read.
It's easier to read. I know that some people have said in the past, well, it looks like it's like a kid's book. Yeah, maybe. But if you really want to enjoy the art, like enjoy the whole experience, it's like telling me, don't get me wrong, I like manga and manga has its own charm, but it has to be said, manga actually, even though it's a small format, the panels are bigger.
Yeah.
So that allows, it sort of makes up for it in a weird way.
Right, right.
But it's like with American comics, I always felt like I was watching a movie on a small screen.
Right, because of the massive dialogue. And manga has very little dialogue.
Very little dialogue. Europeans sort of fall in the middle. My criticism of European comics, and this is my criticism, very stiff, not dynamic. It could use, it's still stuck in the 1970s in many ways. Some stuff has been influenced by Japanese stuff. So, for example, I don't know if you remember this, there's a cartoon that came out called Motherfuckers or Mutafuckers or whatever. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's really cool. It's actually a French company here who made it. It has sort of like a graffiti manga style to it. So here you do see some more manga styles. It's been around for a while. But yeah, in terms of dynamism, they're kind of missing that Jack Kirby thing, which I think Japan took it to the max. They went like, yeah, you know what? Speed lines, all that shit, I'm taking it to the max. Now, if you want to see some fucking crazy speed lines, I'm getting all comic book nerdy here, right? Art nerdy, which is what we're supposed to talk about too as well.
Right.
Hong Kong comics.
A comic book episode.
Yeah, a comic book episode. Yes, it's not always just politics. Hong Kong comics are really, really cool. The speed lines on that, it's insane, over the top. The speed line work. They make the Japanese stuff seem tame. Like Oh yeah, like the Hong Kong stuff. Like you'll
I
see a
love
dude.
comics.
You seen some?
I have a shitload. I have
Oh yeah,
a
they're awesome.
bookshelf worth of them.
They're
That's my
awesome.
swipe pile.
Mhm. They're awesome. So there's a whole world out there to influence you, inspire you. I
Yeah,
find that we get too stuck, some of us, with the old stuff that we grew up with, which is fine. I mean,
yeah,
but to keep it fresh, and especially if you're an artist,
yeah. Is it Ken
expand.
Wong? Is it Ken Wong that does those?
Yeah,
He takes a lot of. He had this comic book. I forgot. I don't know what they call it in English, but they take. He's taking characters like Batman, the Joker, and he incorporates it into these ancient Chinese narratives, and it's just like, wow, this is amazing.
it's
And
crazy.
he ended up working on a Batman comic book over here stateside also,
Oh wow.
with a Dragon Man type character versus Batman. It was actually really good.
This speed line work is insane.
Yeah,
Like you really feel like things are like moving,
and
which
their
is really
digital
cool.
comics feel like paintings. They're so
Yeah.
painterly, you know?
Yeah. And there's that side. So I always felt that when you look at a European comic, it's beautiful. Like,
Hmm.
fuck, maybe not for everyone, but when you see someone's work, like the guy who does Druna,
Hmm.
the hatch, like, I don't care what anybody says to me. You can tell me, oh, Jim Lee does awesome hatching, or no, no, no. Sir Pieri of Druna
Hmm.
does proper hatching
Hmm.
and does it amazing.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, and if anyone who's seen Druna, well, it's a little rated X. Not just a little, actually, it's pretty much rated triple X. But
Yeah, I used to love that comic strip. That's the one with the chick with the big ass, right? Oh my god. I used
I
to
would
tell
tease
you
some of my
that's a
Italian
teenager.
friends. I tease some of my Italian friends. I'm like, you guys are black. I don't care what you say, you're black.
That comic strip used to like drive me wild. Like this fucking attack your senses. You're like, oh my god, she's so hot. The stories were good, the art was good,
Italy.
but it was just like, yeah, you're like, oh my god, this is
And then you
like,
got the other spectrum. You got Manera, who always drew the model-esque women, but they were my thing with Manera is he has a tendency that the faces tend to always look the same for the women,
right,
but
right.
overall he's master of what he does. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know, um, and there's other artists who don't get the props that they should. Like there's a
Hmm.
guy, Fred Beltran, who I'm a friend on. We're friends on Facebook. Uh, he used Painter. Actually, I briefly talked to him online about this. I was like, it's called Megalex.
Megalex.
And he used the computer like it was like a painting.
Hmm.
And so I said, oh, I want to tell you, like, your work was amazing. And he's like, yeah, I should have had a team. I was pretty stupid about doing this because he actually took and made 3D models, but he painted it up. So it was really cool looking. And it was like very futuristic looking. Um, the one guy that was really cool, Fresato, he
Mm.
did the Isle of the Dwarves.
Mm.
Isle of the Dwarves is one of my favorites. Very dynamic, actually breaks a lot of the European stuff. Pencil work is amazing, and it's all kind of like airbrushed. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite European
God,
comics.
looks good.
Yeah, Isle of the Dwarves, and it's kind of like I don't know if you took Miyazaki with the
Just like someone made a film called Dwarves of the Isle of Mist. So it's like almost like they ripped it off.
probably poor guy. Yeah, Frazzato is awesome. I don't know whatever happened to him. I haven't seen his work in a while. So
Great.
they do have the talent, but there's something that about they don't play enough with foreshortening in the way that we Americans do.
Right.
Japanese do. They'll take it to a whole new level with that shit. So
Oh, yeah.
anyway, that's my art
No, I think it's great.
art thing. So
Talking about art, we got a clip over here, that you
oh yes, for
that's
those of you out there who get upset, who you're artists, and you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean that fucking asshole got like, $50 million for a painting of him peeing on a canvas?
Right.
It has nothing to do with the art. So
Right.
you got the clip.
Here we go. Let's look at this. Let's get a little reaction. Little reaction to the videos.
Yep. This guy will explain it to you beautifully. Well, maybe. So yeah, this cool stuff.
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties.
Okay, well I'll
Why is it black? It's already added to the stage. Why is it black? Let's see. Oh, I see. That's why. I gotta remove that. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
Let's take a look at this. You think I'd be like on Johnny on the spot with this by now, right? But
you're doing it all on your own, so other people tend to have someone else do it for them. So you're doing good. You're doing good.
Why do billionaires pay millions of dollars for paintings that look absolutely terrible? It's not because they love ugly art. It's because they understand something you were never taught. Here is how it works. When the tax authorities send a billionaire an $80 million tax bill, they don't pay for it like normal people. Instead, they go shopping. Not for a yacht, not for a mansion, but for a painting. They drop $50 million on something that looks like a child threw paint at a wall. But here is what most people completely miss. They do not hang it in the living room. They store it in a free port. A free port is basically a high-security warehouse where the ultra-wealthy park their assets and bypass most tax rules entirely. The painting just sits there, tax-free. Now here is where it gets powerful. They put it up for auction. Other billionaires in the same circle start bidding against each other. Not because they want the ugly painting, but because by doing so, they artificially inflate the price on paper. That $50 million painting. It is now valued at $80 million. And here is where the real move happens. They do not sell it. They donate it to a museum. And the moment they do, the government hands them a full $80 million tax write-off. That original tax bill, gone. They paid zero to the government, offloaded the painting, and now the world calls them generous, art-loving philanthropists. The museum gets a headline. They get to keep their $80 million. So the next time you see an ugly painting sell for millions, understand this. To billionaires, it is not art. It is a financial weapon disguised as culture, and the system was built to let them use it. If you want to learn more ways billionaires protect their wealth, comment wealth and I will personally send you my playbook.
looks like we got to do that with our own art, right?
Any billionaires out there that just want, a speck of, dust on canvas? Hey, man, drop it. I don't care.
Never like it's hard or hot, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so yeah, I see a lot of people, professionals. Oh, he's getting upset about this, and even some of the bigger professionals. I understand why you would get upset, but we live in capitalism. It isn't about quality. It isn't. It's about money.
Right.
Quality has nothing.
Every single piece here for all the taxes I own, right?
Right.
Gonna rewatch that video.
Yeah, rewatch it. So a lot of us get really worked up over it, and I don't, because I if you've been around the financial world in any sort of shape, way, or form, and Susie used to work in finance, you get a little cynical because it's like, okay, what is the angle?
Right.
Because there's a money angle there, and I think that's many of us sort of miss.
Right. Well, what I find interesting is that now that you sent that to me, it reminded me of the Tom Wolfe book, The Painted Word, that talked exactly about that. That was written in 1975, right? And that was like required reading in college. And yeah, it's just all these friends buying each other's artwork.
Yeah. And it's a way too. If you think, okay, there's only so many gold bars they can buy.
Right, exactly.
It's a way of it's parking their money. They're just, okay, and we all agree that this painting's worth this much. Of course, I guess if everyone else hates your guts and they go, no, that painting's worth shit, Now
Right.
your painting's screwed.
Right.
You're done.
Right.
But yeah, it's has nothing to do with the quality of the art. There's some art that's beautiful. I mean,
Mhm.
art that will be worth $10 because
Right.
really, what value you're putting to it is what we all agree to.
Right. Exactly. And Heritage Auction, you see them on TV selling like $16 million Pokemon card or $8 million Superman comic. I have not a ton of original art. Well, I have a ton of my own stuff, but I have some notable pieces from Marvel, DC, what have you, pages, original pages. And
Mhm.
I actually sent them. Pardon me, I'm sorry. It's early. The early edition. Uh, it's like sent them several samples of the works that I wanted to auction off, and they actually said no thanks. I'm like, why? It's like, I'll give you an example. I have 2 pages from the Armor Wars of Iron Man, which is about a 30-year-old series, right? That came out in the
Mhm.
90s. They were like, no thanks. I was like, that was like Joe Quesada, that was Letha E. Martinez, Rodney Ramos. I mean, Disney Plus was doing a show on the Armor Wars, and then they got scrapped or got pushed behind, whatever,
Mhm.
with Don Chead. Uh, so
Cheeto, yeah.
Cheadle. So it's like,
Yeah, it all comes down to demand.
right. I
And
mean,
demand, one of the things I think that don't criticize enough is that capitalism runs on emotion.
mm,
Oh, everybody wants it. I want it. Why? I don't know. Because everybody wants it.
right,
As soon as somebody doesn't want it, it's not worth anything.
right.
They don't care about it. So it really runs on that. And it's just,
Very true. Very true.
yeah. And I used to collect stuff to collect stuff. Like I remember to collect because sort of like I guess the mini capitalist in me long ago. It's like I'm gonna buy like 50 of these number ones.
Right.
Um, Granted, I offloaded a lot of. I had like
Nice.
10. I exaggerated 50. I did buy like 10 number ones of Joe Quesada's Daredevil.
Yeah.
And when the movie came out, I just sold like 9 for some crazy amount of money on eBay.
Right.
So I offloaded it, but I don't think the other comics I have will, bring that kind of money. Because it was demand. It was because the movie came out, people wanted it,
Right.
and it's at that moment people want it, and then you give it 3, 4 months, nobody wants it. So is
Right.
it really worth that much money that they put into it? No, it's an emotional thing,
Right. Exactly.
So
Completely. Same thing with comic books, and I mean, I feel that the value and I'll tell you this. This pissed me off. I had a graded book that was easily an 8. CGC, which is a scam, graded it at a 4.0, which made no sense. There was like no wrinkles in it. It was perfect. It was a Thor Golden Record comic. So if it was at a 9, which is what, 8 or a 9, it would have been over $1,000, right? Um,
wow.
they graded it as a 4. I even argued about it. They're like, well, if you pay a little bit more, we can up the grade. I was like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourselves. There's something like 10 books. And I even made my argument. I even compared a 4.5 Captain America and Iron Man, the first Tales of Suspense, where they joined them together,
Mhm.
which I got from a comic book store. That was a 4.5 that had rusted staples. It was totally fucked up. It was a fucked up comic, and they rated that 4.5. But then this flawless book, which was even older, was rated so poorly at a 4.0. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, well,
They're
we
just trying to get you to pay for it.
right. So I was like, fuck these guys. So
What a
I ended
scam.
up selling it according to the comic book price guide. That was only worth $60 as a 4.0, which pissed me off. And after holding it for 10 years, I was like, I'm going to just dump this thing, and left a whole bad taste in my mouth. So I sold it for 100. Little did I know that shitty copies that were rated at 2.0, whatever, were selling for over $1,000 on eBay. So I didn't realize that
Oh man.
so I literally sold it and then literally found out that like literally minutes later that was sold for 1,000. All these people were like jumping me for this book at this show that I had it for $100. Like they're throwing their money at me, and I was just like, well, "What's going on?" Like, but I was a little slow to the game, you know. And then I did. That's when I realized that the comic book price guide is irrelevant in today's market. They just print it to print it, and they don't even update it. They're printing the same shit year after year.
Mm-hmm.
They'll put a new cover on it. They'll give it another number, but it's not really updated.
Yeah.
eBay is the deciding factor. These social media and eBay
Mm-hmm.
auctions are actually what determine the true value of a book now. So I lost $1,000 to
Well, you lost 900.
well 900, yeah, but like
900. What's wild about it though?
yeah.
I think that's you're touching on something that I think messes up the comic book industry for
Mhm.
us as artists. So there's a side of us as collectors.
Mhm.
I grew to just like I buy something because I like it. I don't give a flying shit if it's gonna be worth anything. If I
Right.
like it, I'll do that. I don't collect toys anymore, but I used to.
Yeah.
I do occasionally. I mean, they're getting more and more expensive, especially now with the Iran war. Forget it.
Right.
If something looks cool, I'm like, I like this design. I don't give a shit if it's gonna be worth anything later on. I just like it. End
Right.
of story. The story looks cool. I'm gonna enjoy it because it's so easy to get caught up with. And I remember this, my younger self. We get so caught up with, is this going to be worth something? Is this a number one? And I think this is the reason that Diamond also kind of catered to just number ones
Mhm.
because because it's going to be worth something. And I think there's a certain group of collectors who don't even read the comics.
They
They
don't.
just put it in a bag.
They put it in a bag. They don't read
And
it.
that was the worst thing of the 90s with the different
Yeah.
you know, you know, the naked cover, the covered cover, the this cover, the
Buying all
gold
the covers.
folio,
Exactly.
and
It's still
the
happening.
story. What's that? The
It's still
hologram,
happening. Jim Lee moves to DC and they started doing the same shit all over again.
same shit, and it ruined the industry because
It did.
um, people are not reading. Like here, I can say at least, and let me just tell you, I mean, at some other episode, I'll have to show you some of the covers and stuff. They might be a bigger format, but they put some love and care. Like you feel like you got something special from this book.
Right, right.
And that's what I like about it. It's something I like it because I like it. I'm not going to, and if it's worth something later on, well, it's worth something later on. But
Right.
I've read the story, I enjoy the story, and I think that's what's really missing from is getting people to sit down and just read it for the sake of just being a story they enjoy.
Right.
We've taken the joy out of it. It's become it's the epitome of commerce. It's even with movies now, right? So movie
Exactly.
comes out, oh, it only made 50 million.
Like,
Like, well, are you the fucking accountant at Warner Brothers?
right, like who cares?
Who cares? Did you enjoy the movie?
Right. Movies used to be about you watch movies because they were good, not because
Like
not
Blade Runner
right.
flopped at the box office, but
Yeah.
everybody loved it,
It's a
right?
big
In the end.
yeah. Nobody
Highlander did
why should we
shit.
care? Why should we care?
Why should we care? It's
How much money it makes,
they've got the sorry, I'll just say they've gotten us to think like accountants.
Yes, exactly. Because the reason why that's another thing, because young people are like, well, this movie made Zack Snyder's movie didn't make this much money and James Gunn money, and they hear this thing arguing about directors and what how much it made. Is like, was the film good? They lost the art form and turned it into the art of making money, and getting people to care about the movie. If the movie made money, that equals that it was good. Like Deadpool made almost $1 billion. It's the biggest piece of shit you'll ever watch. Same thing with the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Made a ton of money. Oh, we're gonna keep making more of these. Why? They're fucking awful. Is it a lot of eye candy? Yeah. Are there good jokes in there? Sure. Is it a
I
good
like the jokes.
story? No, it's not a good story. There was no story. They took all these great comic book moments from classic comics, which was, some fan service, but they could have just chose one of those stories and interpret it into a film, and it would have been 100 times better.
Here's where I disagree with you, right? I didn't see the Deadpool movies necessarily as a superhero movie.
Right.
I saw it like a fine line between a superhero movie and a spoof of superheroes.
Like
They're like scary movie versus Scream.
right.
And then he managed to also poke fun at a lot of the shit that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
So I think from that perspective, and I enjoy it. And actually, I found a lot of people who are not into superheroes enjoy it.
Right.
Because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Right.
In that sense. There are others that are just like Morbius.
Right.
With Jared Leto. That it's like what? At least I could say that the Deadpool movies.
Yeah.
He didn't go out of his way to create the ultimate superhero movie.
Right.
It's like it's just comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, those who might see it might go, hey, I wonder if there's actually some other stuff that's actually not so funny, that's a little more serious. So it's a kind of a nice gateway for them. So I don't think he was going for like Oscar winning. I mean, he'd probably laugh at that. I do find the Green Lantern film was far worse. And he agreed.
I'll watch it again. I think it was okay. It wasn't that bad. In retrospect, when you see movies like Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and all these other films, and then
that I agree,
Guardians of the Galaxy, and then look at Green Lantern, it's a better film. Even The Spirit, which was a terrible movie, or like Dick Tracy got a lot of crap for being a terrible movie. But if you watch those in retrospect, they're actually far better. The Spirit still, but
the Spirit,
Dick Tracy was a decent movie.
The thing with The Spirit,
it was just like,
I'll explain to you. I went to university for film, so my biggest problem with comic books, because I tend to think, and I think all artists and sequential artists think this way. You think there's a movie in your head,
right?
And comics is kind of like, okay, you got to choose all the best frames from that movie and just put it there and hope that it sort of still flows.
Right.
Whereas a movie, you could just point, go, you can kind of get much closer, I would say, than comic books, because it's literally just piece.
Right.
And The Spirit proves something that Will Eisner had told Frank Miller.
Right.
The comic books and film are not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
And when I watched that, I'm like, you know what? Good thing Will's not alive, because he would have told you, see, I told you so.
All right. Because that movie could have been so good, and it just wasn't.
It wasn't. It was
Visually beautiful, but story, script.
He missed the humor of the character.
Right. He missed
a lot of the humor.
Yeah.
I sort of feel a little bit, although I think that this movie is a lot better than The Spirit.
Right.
Valerian.
Oh yeah, that one's fun. I love that movie. It's not like the comic book at all, especially with the age of the characters.
The problem was there's no chemistry between the guy and the girl. You could just see it.
No.
And they kept trying to force it. It's like,
no, it wasn't there. But it was visually pleasing. I like what's his name? Busan. His films. I think they're, especially The Professional was one of my favorite. Luc Besson.
Yeah.
That was a weird pedophile underlining thing.
Well, it's interesting because they asked the main actor, I forgot his name now. He's actually Spanish. He grew up in France. He said why he played him a little slow. And he said he played him slow because if he played him normal, he felt there would be that pedophile thing going to it. Whereas he's sort of like this, a bit, handicapped. That it's sort of like he's just taking care of this little girl, and he's just emotionally regressed. Right. So it's funny. The actor actually addressed that. Why is he a little slow? So he brought that up. Did he achieve it? Probably not, because there is that age difference.
Apparently, they're supposedly working on a sequel with Natalie Portman, where she's the adult. They brought the
Interesting.
character back.
That
So
would have been cool if you would have like say it could have been easily remedied.
right,
He had lost a daughter,
right,
so he looked at her as his kid. I mean,
right.
that's easily remedied. Luc Besson's pretty. He has his own problems too, by the way,
Right.
with underage people. Um,
All of Hollywood, man. It's crazy.
all of them. It's fucking all of them.
And it's not new. I mean, you can go back to Charlie Chaplin. He was dating underage girls, right? Like 13, 14. All right.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just you know, like the actors of today, but it's way back then. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, even in Hollywood. I mean, look at Elvis. You know, he was grooming his wife who was 12, and then I mean, he didn't marry her until much later, but he was grooming her all the way. You know,
It's that control thing. You know, I know a lot of women are probably scream if they're watching this, they're probably screaming patriarchy, which is
right?
just true. Which is true. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Jerry Lee Lewis, also one of my favorite singers, but still, he's married his 12-year-old. He married his cousin's daughter. Like, it's like,
Yeah, he was keeping it Southern, man. I'm sure it happens in the North and East and West Coast.
oh, I'm
too.
sure. I mean,
just had to toss that joke out
yeah.
there.
But yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's a dark part of American history. Again, when
And it's
was
just not American history. Here in France,
yeah.
there's problems all throughout. I remember being in Spain. I used to run a language exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I remember once some Spaniards were poking fun at Japanese with the younger girls, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, well, what's the age of consent here? Suddenly they got quiet.
Because they're 6 too.
It's like something like 14 or something. I'm like, really? So you're poking fun at the Japanese while we still have this here? Like, maybe we got to fix our shit before we start looking at someone else.
Battle Royale also. There's that was the movie was high school, but if you read the comic, it was middle school,
Interesting.
and they were sexualizing middle schoolers. Like,
Oh, so in the comic they sexualize them? Interesting. Yeah. There's a thing there in Japan. It's funny because certain countries, when you go in, if you have any manga, like in the West, they'll ask you, you know, is it child pornography? Or I'm like, what? Because I've heard stories like that about that.
yeah,
Japan has a different standard too. But let's face it, it's the entire globe.
no, yeah. I mean, it's
The
a
entire globe
lot of
has a problem.
cultures. It's something that was an open secret that was never accepted but tolerated.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think this Epstein thing is going to make it less tolerated, which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing. And
Because
talking about, go ahead.
kids need their innocence.
They do.
They need their innocence.
I mean, I work in a high school, and some of these girls are just so warped and fucked up in the head. I just feel bad for them. I'm just like, stay a kid. Don't rush to grow up.
Well, eventually you'll get to that point in your 20s. You'll get there.
Right.
It'll happen.
I have to have conversations all the time with these young girls that are like 16, 17. Why do you want to date someone in high school? You're here to learn. Your parents don't send you here to get into this drama. Just do what you're supposed to do and go home. You're not going to even know any of these people when you graduate. You're not going to keep in touch with most of these people. You're not going to know them. It's like, you know, like, and then they argue about nonsense. I was like, guys, you're all on the subway. Do you talk to everyone on the train? Do you like everyone on the train? Do you have to have conversations with people that you don't like? Just ignore each other if you don't like each other. You want to be friends? That's great. You want to have a conversation? That's great. But you're not like committed to a conversation or a relationship. This is public school. You don't have to be friends with everyone. You should know everybody, you know, but you should talk to everybody. In my opinion, I talk to everyone in my school, but you don't have to. It's not a rule. It's not, you know, it's good to know people, in your class. But if you don't like that person, don't address them.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because how they sort of saw it with my own kids, right?
Mhm.
A lot of the stuff when they're little is just like gender neutral.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden, when they start to bring in the romance and stuff, my kids would be like, "Yeah, I'm out."
Yeah.
You know, they're like, "Yeah, I'm out." Now, granted, once they start getting 16, 17,
Right.
they talk a little bit about it, but it isn't what it was like when we were young.
No.
When we were younger, they over sexualized us
Big time.
big time. So you had people who were 16 who were getting pregnant. I'm sure it still happens. I don't see it that much here in France or Spain, where I
When
think you
I
see.
was an assistant teacher, the youngest girl I saw pregnant, and this is when I was 21. We had a 10-year-old pregnant by a 15-year-old. And,
That's nasty.
people were like, oh, is it a black or a Hispanic? Nope, she was a white girl,
That's nasty.
Yeah. And
Because
unfortunately,
that girl, like, I mean, puberty.
yeah.
She's probably just barely even entering puberty. That's gross. Speaking of which, now
Mhm.
that you bring this up, ICE detention centers are reporting that a lot of the young girls who are being
Being trafficked.
taken into custody are getting pregnant. They're
Wow.
being raped
Right.
in the ICE detention centers.
Right. A lot of them
It-
were saying separating kids and putting them in hotels. So I was like, what was that about? It's like they had like a hotel, like kids missing, and then ended up in these hotels while their parents are in these cages. Like, what's that about?
well, it seems like it's one giant human trafficking scheme.
What is up with America and this? It's just like, what the hell? And talking about that, this is a good way to introduce Mr. Fish.
Mr. Fish. Okay, I don't know who Mr. Fish is.
Mr. Fish is a political
Cartoonist?
cartoonist. He's got this. The longer we wait without doing anything, the more likely it is there will be nothing left for saving. And you can see like he's got like this bloody shit on the flag of Trump's ass.
Well,
Like he's taking a shit on the flag, and yeah, like
it's all blood.
it's like it's like a bloody shit. Yeah, exactly. It's like
To let you know something, I don't know if this is true or not.
yeah.
This is allegations. So apparently Trump has had problems with keeping his poop.
Yep. That's what it's in reference to too. Yeah.
Going back to the 90s.
Yep.
Because apparently, and I can't say this with any sort of smile at all, but there's a young man who's was a former soldier who said that Trump raped him.
Mm-hmm.
And that the one time he was supposed to go on Trump, he got a stick and he proceeded to place the stick. Let's just put it this way: Trump was the eraser on that stick.
Right. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the pencil. Yeah. So apparently he's had problems holding his
Poop sense.
poop sense.
And that's why he stands in that forward penguin position because of that damage.
Because he was the eraser cap on that pencil.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful.
But the poor guy, I don't know if he's still living or not, but he's come out. He's come out against Trump. So it wasn't just girls.
He raped boys too. Yeah.
Yeah, because they try to make it seem like, oh, it's just the girls. It's boys too. Both are bad. They're children.
They're children.
They're children.
It's a sick world that we live in. I mean, honestly, I think I mentioned this to you earlier about, I had to take a slight break. I mean, I never stopped watching news, but I had to take a little break from this week from television because I just felt this huge empty chasm within me. This darkness of, I think it was this overexposure, like to being exposed to the reels, sharing reels. And I apologize to people that I share reels with. I apologize to you, Miguel. It's like, sometimes you just get into it and it's just like, it takes you into the algorithm just pulls you in like these black hands pulling you down, like
You're like,
shadow.
no.
And I was like, whoa. Like my wife was just looking at me yesterday. She's like, what are you doing? Like it's like we're watching TV and then I'm still scrolling. I was like, I'm just getting shit ready for tomorrow's podcast. I'm queuing up some videos I want to play.
Yeah.
Just okay. So it's like, but
Yeah, no, you know what I do? This is sort of my strategy on how to manage that.
right.
It can get very overwhelming, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to the idea of a nuclear war, because that's so etched into our generation.
Right.
I mean, we were petrified of that shit.
Right. Bomb
I was
shelter.
so petrified of it that when my kids were about 10
Mhm.
and 12, I sat them down and we watched war games.
Mm.
And I said to them, like, this is the shit you guys will inherit from us.
Right.
So keep this in mind. Mind you, a lot of kids don't even have a clue about that.
Right.
But my strategy is simple. I'll sit down in the morning, I'll scroll through, get away from it, go to my drawing table, and watch a B movie or a documentary on something.
Right.
Then later on in the afternoon, go back to it a little bit. Maybe I'll comment a little bit as I'm going along on my social media. But I break it up because if it's all day, it is very engulfing
Yeah.
and you feel hopeless.
Right. It's like
And it paralyzes you, right? Because
it does. It's really something. But I felt like it was not even within. I don't even feel like it was a. It felt like almost like a separate entity, like like this darkness just like envelops you.
well, it is.
It's just like, whoa, what is that?
It is because you're
What is
literally
that?
having something external that you're looking at
Right. Right.
telling you this is all miserable, nothing is worth it.
Right.
And I mean, you have a high tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a high
But
tolerance.
eventually, even your high tolerance wears down. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I need a break for a few days.
For me, I love this one story that came out about Afro Man.
Yes.
You know, the guy, because I got high.
Yeah.
Right? And I love it. For those of you who don't know, what happened is very simple. So Afro Man, the singer who wrote the song, did very well in the 90s. Apparently, the cops got a warrant for his arrest.
Right.
Well, not for his arrest, to search his home for kidnapping victims, because apparently there was a rumor he had a dungeon in his basement, and drugs. They found, now mind you, he had his entire house set up with cameras, security, surveillance. So he recorded everything.
Really? Wow.
Everything. So they go in, full guns. I think his kids might have been home or something, because he did say that they scared the shit out of his kids. They stole $4,000 from him.
Right.
They ate his pound cake. He caught that on tape, and they cut the surveillance to his cameras, busted down his door. So he said, because he didn't want to get Jeffrey Epstein, he literally said this. He went down to the cops,
right,
to talk to the cops to get his shit back with his lawyer, because he wanted to make sure his lawyer was present, and they're completely rude bastards.
Right.
So he said, if life gives you lemons, make some lemon pound cake.
Right, exactly.
So what does he do? He takes the video film footage,
right,
makes a series of videos, music videos, calling out each of the cops, to the point that these cops, because he lives in some little rinky-dink town in Ohio,
right.
their friends are like laughing at them. The one guy who ate the pound cake, people were sending him pound cakes. Some of these cops had to freaking leave this town. One guy got divorced because he had a song saying, "Oh, blah 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 is a son of a bitch." And by the way, I slept with his wife and I made a lot of money. So the cops take him and sue him for damages. Now they're public servants, so they can't really say shit.
Right.
Case goes to court. They have to actually play the videos. Now, there's one of them which is pretty brutal.
Right.
It's called Lick 'em Low Lisa,
Right.
which is all about the female officer there. He's basically calling her a lesbian.
Right.
Being careful, she might, hence the term "lick 'em low, Lisa." And it's pretty graphic, actually. The video is very graphic. I'm like, holy shit! I'm surprised he got away with this. Anyway, he won his case. They lost their case, and now the whole world knows
Right.
this whole new song, and it is fucking hilarious. um, so it's a feel good story for freedom of speech.
Right. And then artists utilizing their creativity to express themselves even in moments of tragedy.
Yes, like he said, he took lemons and he made lemon pound cake. And yeah, it's so hilarious. I'm like, did you really have to fuck with that guy? He's like, I didn't have a dungeon here. He only had $4,000 worth of money. He didn't even have drugs.
Right, right.
And he was like, well, I
At
can
age,
kind
you
of
don't want to be doing drugs. You end up in, in a bad shape.
well, and the thing is, he did have that song.
Mm-hmm.
I did make it because I was high. That was his big song. So
Right.
I could see, he was like, I could see the drugs, but the kidnapping, like, fuck. It's like, did you find? Actually, it's funny because he has them flipping through his CDs. He's like, did you find any kidnapping victims in my CDs? Like, he's totally roasting them. And one of the cops, this is the part that kills me. When he was being cross-examined,
Right.
it's the guy he called son of a bitch, and he's like, yeah, I didn't know if he completely insulted me, and he said he slept with my wife, and he's like, it's a song. Do you think he really slept with your wife? And he's like, I don't know.
We never will.
Oh man, it was the best. The best. I'm like, really?
The rumor. And in sadder news, you mentioned this guy, right? He passed away, right?
Yeah, Sam Keith. It's sad to see him go. 63. The Max is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He had such a it's just cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful work.
His bat signal on the bat chest is not that great, but he was a great artist.
It just had a very expressive feel to it.
Oh, yeah. I think
he's just very different and very expressive.
Yeah, I think, and then you had the MTV cartoon, that little animatic, which was great.
Yeah.
I mean, he was talented. It's too bad.
Very talented.
How old was he?
63.
Holy crap!
So he's not really that old.
No, not at all. I mean,
not at all.
We're like 11 years away from that.
We also lost Chuck Norris.
Oh yes, Chucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my issues with Chuck.
Yeah.
He was a big BB Netanyahu fan.
Was he really? I can't stand his movies. I was never. I always thought his movies were so shitty.
Give me Bruce any day.
Exactly. I love that. I love the only movie I like with him is when he gets his ass kicked by Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I love that. I love rewatching that. And he pulls his hair out.
And the cat's like, meow.
Yeah, all those movies. His movies were actually funded by Israelis. A lot of that Delta Force stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it was just trying to help, I guess, get us over the Vietnam era, in which missing in action. We're going to go back to Vietnam. We're going to teach those Viet Cong a thing or two with Chuck Norris. It's like, no, we got our asses kicked and we had to leave. So,
right.
I had my issues with that. So I'm not a big Chuck Norris fan. I don't wish him dead, but he was also supporting a genocider. So I can't really be a big fan either.
And for those that are not familiar with Sam Keith's work, he did Max, Blood of Dracula, did some Batman. Zero Girl, I remember. That was a weird story.
Yeah, he had a lot of strange stories, but that's what made it so cool.
Yeah, that was a very strange one. I heard that around somewhere.
I love that he just, when you would look at his work, it was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm drawing it the way I want to fucking draw it.
Yeah, exactly.
Proportions? Fuck that shit. It's just beautiful work. It's too bad because I had hoped that maybe they would do something with the Max at some point.
Right, and it didn't go anywhere, right? After that.
After MTV.
Yeah. You'd think they would have done a live action at some point.
Or even something like really cool 3D like a cartoon movie would have been cool.
Mhm.
I'm kind of tired of like the super realistic stuff anyway.
It's
I think, like for example, I don't know if you might not feel the same way, but I really love the Into the Spider-Verse
oh yeah.
cartoons,
Oh,
and
that's
I think we need more of that. Very expressive, very cool. Like
mhm.
it's you feel the artwork as opposed to actors. It's like I'm tired of live action shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like, what's the best Japanese cartoon? It's in my opinion, it's like Akira. It was like all hand painted, hand drawn, and it's just amazing action sequences.
Katsuhiro did the entire storyboard, all the storyboards on that. Literally, the only thing he didn't do was the
Right,
in between shots in between. Some other poor bastard had to do that, and
right.
he actually says, "Yeah, I don't know what I was fucking thinking. That was stupid." But I was like, hey, and that's only one volume of the entire 6 volume Akira. So
Right,
that's the
exactly.
first one. Yeah,
Exactly.
beautiful piece of work. Yeah, I agree. I
And
agree. I think and I remember having arguments with people in the 90s, fellow creators. They're
mhm,
like, yeah, no, the Japanese stuff, anime wouldn't really take off here. We're more like live action shit. And I'm like, no, I think we could do I think we're not really experimenting with animation the way it should be.
right, right. And talking about that, so I want to make one more death thing, and then that way I'll go into. I have this cool thing of AI that I don't know if I sent it to
Is this like our the part of the show where we have our whatchamacallit, the
in memoriam about me.
it's the obituary section. Thank you. Yes. In memoriam. Yes. Rest in peace.
This
Peace.
guy
Wow.
was awesome. He did not give two fucks about Trump, and pulled him on the carpet, held him to task, and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that
Did you
was.
see what Trump said?
Yeah, what an asshole. What an asshole.
If he would have said something nice, I think we all be surprised right now.
Yeah, I think the guy is incapable of niceties.
He's a malignant narcissist.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's a malignant narcissist.
Yeah. I mean, and then you have this joke, talk about animation, right? You got this little bitty, apparently one of the top MAGA influencers turned out to be AI.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She's not real. Which
Yeah. There's a shot. I saw it. She had an extra boob.
really?
Yeah, she was basically the woman from Total Recall. Yeah.
So about animation, this was an interesting thing on a fan of the cartoon Neon Genesis Evangelion actually made, I guess they ran the cartoon through AI. I guess that's how they would do it, right? And the AI reinterpreted it like a live action film, but more like the Battle Alita, like remember the Battle Alita?
That's a good movie. I like that movie.
Yeah, it's a fun film.
Great comic.
And this is what it came out with. I won't play the whole thing because it's fucking long, but I mean, look at this. I pay money to see that. All right.
Reminds me of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy. Yeah. Like, and then and then in Japanese, this is probably like a Japanese creator that did this. Right? It's like they did the whole thing there. Those
コミュニケーション回線開きます。リスト1405までオールクリア。
So how many lakes did that take?
This thing is probably close to 20 minutes or something.
そこへ行くな。
Almost the whole episode.
most annoying.
It looks-
次回見知らぬ寸上
I mean, that is just.
So how many lakes did we lose for that?
How many lakes? Yeah, I know, right? Because the generating, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still enjoy the cart. There's, it's like just like when they made the live action Cowboy Bebop,
Right. Yeah. It
which
was.
is one of my favorite anime series.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you just can't. There's just something stylistically about Cowboy Bebop
Right.
that stays in that world, in the
Mhm.
drawn world. That when you try to bring it to the 3D world, it's
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I thought it was fun to watch it live, but you don't need that. Just like
no.
Alan Moore says, comic books aren't films, right?
Yeah. I see. I'm of the feeling, and this is probably because maybe I love manga. I'm of the feeling that the nearest medium for us comic book artists
Mhm.
is animation.
Yeah.
That's we have a lot of the similar challenges of
Yeah.
making a flat plane, three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They have other advantages, which they can actually just freaking make things move.
With a
But I
lot
think
of
that's where you can make something translate better than live action.
right.
know,
Absolutely.
I think it's underutilized too much.
And I teach an animation program, and even me, I mean, my go-to is still comics. Like I have yet in 6 years of teaching animation, I've yet to make an animated reel because it takes a lot of I gotta work. I always started one. I started strong. I did some. My favorite was actually Storyboard Pro because it is closer to comics with some animation.
Mhm. The cool thing is you can rotate cameras and stuff. You can't do that in comics. You have to sort of do it panel by panel, and that's a
Right.
fucking pain in the ass.
I mean, it is fun, but I've yet to make a cartoon. When I first started, I was like, I'm going to make my own I'm going to take my comics and turn them into cartoons. I'm like, it's a lot of work.
When I was in college, I took an animation course, and one of the professor, he actually did commercials for beer commercials and stuff in animation.
Mhm.
And I still remember we had to do an exercise where we had to do, I think it was like 10 seconds.
Mm.
Anyways, like 180 frames.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'm going to do a ball.
Right.
And it had to be like, it was film because you're talking the 90s. We weren't really doing digital.
Right. So it was all hand drawn.
Yeah. And so you put it in. And I came out with such a tremendous respect for animators.
Absolutely.
Like, when I saw, like, one of my other favorite ones is Street Fighter, not because of the storyline, it's not that great, but the first Street Fighter movie, the angles and fight scenes in that are amazing. And every time I sit there and I'm like in my head, 10 seconds, holy shit, what they did in 10 seconds.
Right.
But I do think that that's our nearest cousin is
Absolutely.
animation. And we actually, I didn't go into this. I know it's turning more into the comic book stuff, but Will Eisner's official last book was a book called Expressive Anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember buying it because I'm a bit of a Will Eisner fan. Not a big fan of Ebony, though. Sure, I would argue with him over that.
I don't know. Yeah.
But he said something that was very true in the opening of that book. He said, there's a lot of really beautiful artists who can make beautiful work, but they're stiff.
Right.
There's a lack of life in them. So this book was trying to get people back into that expression, which again goes back to animation.
Right.
We have that. It's not like film where we can talk and you can see all these little mini micro expressions. This is why AI looks a little bit weird for us, because the AI can generate a lot of things, but it can't generate the little expressions between other expressions very well. Hence, Bibi Netanyahu's dead. I don't care what anybody says.
Right. We'll get into that.
So on paper, we have to exaggerate more
Yeah.
to overcome the lack of micro expressions. Like how I worked that in with BB.
Yes.
So yeah,
The two thumbs. Yeah.
2 thumbs. Speaking of which, didn't we have a comment from someone?
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
comment.
yeah. We gotta. Let me go to that.
It was about something we said in our last episode.
Yeah, actually.
The video we played got somebody a bit upset.
Yeah, I mean,
Little
it
bit.
was about Judaism. The rabbi from New York, he was talking about Zionism versus Judaism and making the comparisons. And so this person didn't watch the entire segment; they just watched the clip, I guess. They made their little comment on it. So I'm just
Well, there's a professor of Judaism, which I'll find at some other point,
yeah.
in Montreal, who would straighten him out on that. But anyway, let's hear the comment.
Yeah, I'm scrolling.
Okay, no problem.
I'm finding it. I had something else lined up, but
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
let's, but no, I was just trying to say no. Now that you mentioned, I want to mention that clip. I think I passed it now. Shit. I had it queued up and then I moved it. This is I need to. You know what? I think I need to have separate windows open to. Is that it? Is that it? Is that? Oh, wait, is this it? Let me see. Let me fast forward a little bit. No, no, no. So I think we're upsetting some people, some comic book creators and artists, and we're not here to offend. If you get offended, we can't control the way you feel. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. Miguel, we're not here to outwardly offend anybody, right? That's not our goal. We're here to inform people and just to say what's on our mind, right? But if and explain our perspective, like no different than a news outlet or a social media influencer expressing their feelings towards what's happening, right?
Yeah, and just dropping, this guy said this.
Right, exactly. This
stuff you may agree with it, you may not.
And you don't have to agree with it. I know I can't find the fucker. It's like, but
well, the comment was something you told me. It was something to the effect of that rabbi doesn't speak for the Jewish people.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's what this was. Yes.
So to that, I say that would be like me saying, all my comments reflect the Black American community or Spanish people or whatever community, ethnic group. No one ever does.
No
one ever does. I mean, even if the Pope says something, he's the fucking Pope. That doesn't mean every Catholic goes, yes, well, the Pope said that. That's the truth. No. Humans aren't like that.
That's not the way we're built,
No, we're not. And then the same thing for the Latino community. I wouldn't be like, hey, Ray, what does the Latino community think? And Ray says it, and everybody goes, yes, that's exactly what the Latino community.
I mean, my son did an interview recently for this film, this art project, fine art project, and he was interviewed, and I totally don't agree with anything he said. And that's my son, and I even asked him about it. I was like, are you willing to stand on these words? Because this could have backlash with you, not now, but
later on.
10 years later on when you get into your career. And it's about being a mixed, he's mixed. He's half Chinese, half Hispanic, and I had those similar feelings, I don't want, I think my gift is that I can go back to and remember how I was as a teenager and my perspective. Like I have a good memory of who I was as a child. I'm not the same person I was when I was a younger person, but I can go back. And I think that's why I work well with high school students, because a lot of things that they're just discovering or developing and I could reflect and understand their perspective. So I just told my son, he's a very prominent fine artist, photographer. He's going to be in this show, and his words are going to be published. And I said, are you willing to stand on these words? It's like, I don't want to ruin that interview. It's not out yet. I was like, are you willing to stand on this? Because if you're willing to stand on this, go to print. But just let you know that
Yeah, things come back.
you're offending not only me as your Hispanic father, I feel offended, but and you might be offending members of your family, or maybe some people in the Latino community, or you might be offending, But he said he's willing to stand on it. I was like, fuck it.
Yep.
You're a man. You're gonna deal with it, whether it's
Yep.
positive, negative, or nothing. Maybe nothing comes out of it. But just had to let him know, hey, you're gonna be 18 soon. You just can't say shit.
Yeah.
And it's not highly offensive. I think I took it highly offensive because I'm his father. But maybe other people will not. People are like, yeah, whatever. But because I created this child.
Yeah.
It represents, like I always tell my students, what you say represents your parents, and people will look at when they see your behavior and how you act in class or how you treat other people will be like, oh, that guy's parents is X, Y, and Z, right? So you should always be cognizant of how the things you do and say, because that's a reflection of your upbringing and your home training,
Yeah. And that goes to an extent, though.
Yeah, to an extent.
To an extent. I mean, there's a certain age after a while, it's just you.
Yeah. Like, let's be honest. But it's like, you look at Trump, you're like, man, his parents were assholes.
Yeah, I mean, yes. But you could take someone like, I know a lot of people are crapping on Donnie.
Right.
Some he deserves, some he doesn't. Like how he's treating his wife over the Palestine thing is pretty crappy.
Oh, really? I haven't even followed up on that.
Oh, well, they're on him because she liked some posts on pro-Palestine stuff.
Right.
He kind of threw her under the bus a little bit, not much.
Really?
Yeah, But then you compare it to his dad.
Right.
His dad's like a full-on like communist.
Right.
Right. So you really can't control
right.
how that goes.
Right.
There were times that I'm sure there were things my grandfather would have been like, what do you mean you're into like being a full-on capitalist when I was younger?
Right.
With the comic book stuff, like selling shit and
Right.
that. Really, it's more trade than and commerce than it is capitalism.
Right.
But as I got older, I started to realize, what, there's certain things that are actually that I do realize why he chose what he did, and he and it takes time. With my kids, my daughter has her certain ways.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you because she loves to argue. She gets that from me. And my son, it's funny because for a time there, we were having some sort of back and forth about stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give him space.
Right.
But it's funny because he wanted to go study in Canada. And we got family there, which I'm fine.
Right.
And so when Trump got in, it was in November. And my son's telling me, oh, yeah, I think I want to go to Canada to study. And I'm like, are you sure?
Right.
He's like, why? I said, because I think Trump is going to want to take Canada.
Right.
And he's like, no, come on, Dad. What do you know? And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right. January comes. He's like, Dad, Trump wants to take Canada. And I'm just like, yeah. Explain. So sometimes it's just a matter of time. Like we also have to realize that how we view things at a certain point. And being mixed isn't easy either.
Yeah, I had difficulties being Puerto Rican and Colombian. People are like, oh, it's a big deal, but it's a major difference.
There is, yeah.
And then the family didn't like each other.
Interesting.
Like Colombian family did not like my Puerto Rican family, and they had.
So do the Colombians look down on the Puerto Ricans?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, a lot of my Colombian family members are wealthy.
So it's a class thing.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
my Puerto Rican family was, I would tell us they were low class. I mean, I'm not saying all Puerto Ricans. My family was low class. I mean,
Right.
they were children. Well, actually, both of them were children of farmers. You know, but one, I guess, one farmer is better than the other. But I mean, like my mom would make something. Like my dad would bring his relatives over, and like I remember distinctly my aunt taking my mom's food and throwing it out the window. like, like no joke, like just straight up disrespectful.
Yeah.
Or like even the drinks, like pouring it out. Like, oh,
Wow.
let's cook. Your mom cooked, or we're not going to eat her food. We're going to cook, and they just start cooking again.
Wow. That is really bad.
That's really
No.
like your kids aren't eating this. We're going to make something else for you, like that.
Yeah, no. No, I never. No.
Yeah,
I had other issues like, it's strange. My mom would have been 100 this year, by the way.
wow.
Yeah, she was born in 1926.
Wow.
I was born, she had me in her late 40s, which is crazy.
Wow.
I only found out how old she was after she died, though. A neighbor told me because she never would tell us. That was but they were pretty forward thinking, I guess, because her dad being a communist and stuff.
Right.
So I never really had that tension between the Spanish and the African American. Never had that issue. The other issues that we had was that I could see between the two culturally. She was very lenient on us.
Right.
Like Spanish kids, and I mean from Spain, are some of the most emotionally spoiled kids on the fucking planet. Like, especially boys, they can get away with doing all sorts of shit. Now, my dad being Black American and being in the military, very strict.
Right.
So it's like water and oil. So that's the tension I had. But I never had a tension within me. I never felt, maybe if I was part English, I would have felt it. But when I lived in North America, Spanish really isn't, I don't know, the way I saw her being treated because she had an accent, I never felt like I could be part of the English speaking world, whether it was from my dad's side or my mom's side. So I didn't have that struggle. But yeah, I never heard any of that kind of stuff that you throwing out food. That'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, like a fist fight, right?
Fist fight. That's crazy. I never even heard that. Like my wife's family's Portuguese. Portuguese and Spanish don't get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Spanish tend to treat Portuguese the way Americans treat Mexicans. It's like they look down on them. But I never had my mom ever say shit like that or do that to my wife's family. You know, so that's pretty extreme that they would like throw food out. Wow, that's
really. I mean, that's just scratching the surface.
Holy crap.
Steal her jewelry, you know, take things. We'd go to their house and find it. I mean, I had cousins, things would disappear all the time. I moved in with my cousin when I was 19, and then I went into his closet and found like half my shit in there. Jackets, ties.
Was this your Colombian or your Puerto Rican side?
That was my Puerto Rican side of the family. They were like ghetto.
Oh, okay. You know.
Like, but you know, surprisingly, that big thief, he ended up having like buying and selling 3 of his businesses, so he was very successful. But
he was just practicing, man.
He was just practicing, bringing his own family over.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I just went up and down on this page.
Couldn't find it.
I can't find. You know what it is? They must have reported the page and it was removed.
Wow. They got the rabbi removed. Yeah.
I'm gonna repost that clip. Yeah, they must have reported it. I literally had it queued up 2 hours ago, and now it's not here. It's like it's gone. Like
that is just so pathetic. Like, you know, I think that the big problem, I've mentioned this many times, is that we think of Judaism like there's one unit.
Right. It's not. It's just like Christianity, many facets.
Many facets. One doesn't agree with you. I have friends who are Greek Orthodox, friends who are Protestant.
Right.
What is this Christianity you speak of? It's very same thing with Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sad. I know that the ADL wants to start going after people it considers to be anti-Semitic, and they're going to use the FBI to clamp down on us.
And
They might think.
have we ever talked about Canary Mission, where you have this website that actually, if they find you, it's a website. We're not on it. I checked.
It's strange, but you would think that anti-blackness would warrant this.
Right.
I shared that. We shared that clip last week of Norman Finkelstein,
Yes, we did.
where he said, "Do you worry about the cops? Fucking no."
Right, exactly.
Right, man.
I mean, we're not on this site, thank God. But
We are now. Damn it!
you know,
I went to look for us. Now we're on the site.
I know someone that I didn't know this website existed. How could we, right? But apparently, if you are a demonstrator, like the college
Right.
demonstrators that look, they have something on Mondani over here. Look at this. So if you say anything anti-Semitic, or they deem you anti-Semitic, they post the Canary Mission website, cites you out, and they basically harass you. And so this is a Israeli website, Jewish website, and they literally, you can look up our mission. Let's look at their mission. Canary Mission documents individuals and organizations that promote hatred of the USA, Israel, and Jews on North America, college campuses, and beyond. Canary Mission investigates hatred across the entire political spectrum, including far right, far left, anti-Israeli activities. Fair enough. But they literally go in and they harass people. Like, they just try to destroy your career, try to destroy you as a person. Death threats, things like that.
What is really wild about that
is
they're going to need all that money right now because they're getting pounded by Iran.
Right. So look, you got students. Oh, look at this guy, Mahmoud Khalid, because he's been in the media, right? This guy. So these are college student demonstrators, right? Like, they got multiple pages.
What a waste of money.
It is. But this is like people who are just, pro-Palestine, right?
Well, that the Ukrainians had something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a kill list.
And they have professors. Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, that's what this could be if it gets into the wrong hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just randomly.
Well, now they want a ground invasion. Bibi said he wants a ground invasion of Iran.
Right.
So a lot of people are going to have to go there. We need.
And these are regular people, which is kind of like
sad. That's so sad.
Let's type in my name. I'm not on there, thank God.
It's just crazy.
But medical.
Someone had to go and catalog this. Someone's getting paid to catalog this.
Right.
To go through these videos.
This is the United
States. What's their criteria? What is?
They got Al Jazeera on there, Al Jazeera English. These are the anti-Semitic websites, right? That they deem anti-Semitic. Palestinian Youth Movement. Scary. This is like the KGB.
It's both scary and sad.
Then they got ex-canary, people who were targeted and then apologize.
This is just sad. Like, imagine if Black America said, fuck it, we're going to start putting a list of all the racists. Well, granted, we probably have the entire fucking internet who was anti-Black. But the amount of time that you go through to do this.
Right.
Meanwhile, someone like Shapiro pretty much tells Black Americans to fuck off all the time.
Right.
So I don't know. That's just sad. That, to me, that's very sad.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, the resources that they're spending on this, hey, you know what got hit yesterday? I think the name of the town is Damina in Israel, which is where they have their nuclear site.
Right.
And not one of the little Iron Dome things even came close to even touching that missile when it hit.
Well, alleged nuclear weapons, because they're not supposed to have them. Alleged. Let's not
But I'm like,
let's not make any accusations. We don't end up on the Canary mission.
You're gonna have to close down that site because you're gonna need as much money as you can to start getting shit up.
Oh God.
And it was announced today, two things that now that we're getting to the war stuff. We got the comics, now we got the war.
Yeah. Yo, that's crazy.
China has closed the tap on tungsten.
Really? Uh-oh.
They're the biggest producer of tungsten, not just mining, but also processing tungsten.
Right. We need
Which
that
means no weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So we can throw all the money that we want, but we're not going to fucking have weapons.
Right.
That's part of the rare earths. Two, they have an export ban on fertilizers.
Right. No more bombs. No more homemade bombs.
And no more food because farmers need the fertilizers in order to.
Yeah.
And we get like, I think, I would say 30%, but we get a good deal of fertilizers from China.
Right. Right.
And then the idiots also used ICE that got rid of a lot of the workers. So between not having workers, not having that, there's going to be food scarcity.
Right.
Because, you know, Dingbat didn't freaking like calculate on this. There's a lot of things that they've made mistakes on because they were high on a feeling to bring back Gozer.
Mm-hmm.
We got to kill amount of people in Iran, and then Gozer, Jesus is going to come back and he's going to set the world straight. No. So here we are. Yeah, and it doesn't matter how many websites we have up with all the people. We all need to eat, including the people who have that website.
Right.
And the people who are calling out the war and don't want children to die.
Right. And this is a U.S. war, right? I mean, we have to clarify that, you know.
Yep.
If we just happen to mention Israel, Israel is just the proxy for the United States.
Yeah.
The United States is the one that's funding this and providing the weapons for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's an American war.
And we're Americans and we can criticize our own country so far, right? So take a look at this.
Oh, don't worry, man.
I hate Tucker Carlson. I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson. I hate
love Tucker.
I guess, but it's funny. It's kind of fun to watch that the MAGA or you call maggots eat each other alive and
broken clocks, man.
It's important. I'm glad he flipped the script a little bit. I don't know if it's intentional, like if this is part of the plan to divide and conquer, but this is what it is. You be the judge of it. Whoops. There we go. Whoops. Start again. I'm trying to get that volume button.
All right. Yeah, I see Tucker in the broken clocks category.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 weeks ago when this started, and they weren't in June either. I mean, the Iranians have had a religious ruling, a fatwa, against actually developing a nuclear weapon since 2004. That's been in place since 2004. That's available in the public sphere. But then also we had no intelligence to indicate that fatwa was being disobeyed or it was on the cusp of being lifted. The Iranian strategy, it's actually pretty pragmatic. The Iranians are obviously aware of what's taking place in their region. And their strategy was to not completely abandon their nuclear program because they saw what happened to Muammar Gaddafi in Libya when he said, hey, I've got no more nukes. I'll do what you say. I'll give up my nukes.
And we gave him the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah, we regime changed him and he was, executed by his own people in the most horrific way.
Sodomized by a bayonet. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the lesson I think that the entire region took from that when Hillary Clinton.
Unfortunately, that's what the neocon, neoliberal warmongers, that's the lesson that they showed everyone in the region. And then conversely, the Iranians also knew that if they came out and said, okay, we've got a nuke, whether they were bluffing or not, Saddam Hussein, Iraq right next door. So they kind of had this,
hung, I think.
He was hung by his own people, after a bloody, war that's still essentially going on inside of Iraq. So the Iranians' position, when viewed from the lens of the region, was actually fairly pragmatic. They were preventing, themselves from developing a bomb, but they still wanted the ability. They wanted the ability to enrich. They wanted the ability to have some components so that they weren't completely stripped of it. And when we always assessed that they were either several months or a year, 2 years away from actually being able to develop a nuclear weapon. And that's not because the Iranians are stupid people. I think we can tell right now that the Iranians are anything but stupid. They had the ability, I think, that the brain power to actually develop one, or they could have simply traded a ton of oil with Pakistan or someone else to actually get a nuclear weapon. They were not doing that. We had no intelligence to indicate that they were.
Was Iran?
So it just goes to show you that a lot of the stuff they show you in the press about even the attack back in June. Oh, they're creating nuclear weapons. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Since 2004, this guy worked for the Trump administration, just resigned.
Yep.
Anyone's going to know it's him.
Yep.
So,
oh yeah, and he's not fully out of the Trump administration, by the way.
no, they're
he just recently kissed Peter Thiel's ass,
right,
online. But yeah, I mean,
I see the MAGA extreme right. Well, MAGA is already extreme right, but there's an even more extreme within that right. And I see that this guy, I'm not saying this guy's a good guy, whatever, but he's like, hey. The funny thing is, I don't mean to laugh, but the funny thing is that they obviously don't want to go to war. They want to concentrate on fucking us. They want to concentrate on screwing blacks, Hispanics, Asians, gays, and basically bring us back to the 1950s. But now their agenda is interrupted because we're investing in this war on behalf of Israel. And Trump thought that MAGA would support this, but they're like, no, we don't want to support any Jews. It's like, so their racism is coming out like, no, we want the money for ourselves. But I guess the hoodwink, they've been hoodwinked so much that they realize that, oh, they don't support us either. It's not just about the blacks and Hispanics and all this. We're part of that too. I guess they're waking up to the fact that you don't matter either.
Well, and to sort of bounce off what you were saying. So yes, you have the racists, which I find that Tucker falls in that.
Yes.
Tucker comes from a wealthy family. That's so he's looking out for his class.
Yeah. He's not.
He doesn't care. But it's the evangelicals. So we always talk about, and it's funny when you say the word Zionist, everyone just sort of automatically thinks, oh, you're talking about Jewish people.
No, they're mostly Christian.
Matter of fact, the original Zionism was Protestantism. England. It was how the United States was colonized. You can look and you can see them talking about Amalek. And they were Protestants. They were Christians. If anything, it was Christian Zionism that infected Judaism.
Right.
So it's not about saying, oh, it's Jewish people. No, we're telling you, and Jewish people are out there, should be like, well, wait a second, what do you mean? What do you mean they infected us? They did. So we're telling you it's the other way around. So the far right, which are the Hegsets, who believe that this is all about bringing back Gozer.
Right.
We're going to have some magic incantation. We got to kill a whole bunch of people. And then Jesus is going to come back. There's all these set pieces.
Right. Why would Jesus come back if he's killing all these people? He's the opposite of that. It's like
fucking worship Mars and get over with, and
right.
Be done with it. You're a god of war.
Mars, and it's like
But I think they're running up against those guys, and the evangelical Christians, the Hagis, and all those guys, Huckabee. They're deep within the Zionist Jews.
Right.
They're in it together.
Right.
And so it's I would say it's more the evangelicals are running the shit.
Right.
Than it is the Jewish Zionism at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if anything, they're out in the front lines. Now, the scary part is, for those of you who might not know, because you're like, you only know your religion, evangelical Christianity's idea is this. The temple will be rebuilt, so they got to destroy the mosque. Temple's rebuilt. Then Jesus comes back. Jesus comes back in the mythology that they created to convert the Jews, or give the Jews one more time to convert to Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, he will kill all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So quite literally, Jewish Zionists have gotten in bed with the biggest anti-Semites on this fucking planet.
Right. And some of them are Nazis. Yeah.
Some of them Nazis. So here's the thing. If you can create this stupid cockamamie idea where you can bring back Jesus by building a temple,
Which makes no sense.
makes no sense. These are very dangerous people, because then you could say, well, everything failed. This is what they'll then do in their brain.
Mm-hmm.
Because zealots are like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it was that we have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in a serious, hardcore Hitler situation again. And this is something, because I've mentioned this before, my brother converted, we would have these conversations, and he would say to me, but come on, the Jewish community kind of looks at, particularly the Zionist Jewish community, look at the Christian evangelicals like they're just quirky and, they're stupid. That doesn't mean that they're not fucking dangerous.
Right.
There's more of them.
Right.
The very fact that Israel is out there taking the lumps,
right,
should be something. And this is what's frustrating, that some people can't understand when we bring up Zionism. Has nothing to do with Judaism. If anything, it's a criticism of evangelical Christianity.
right. And let's face it, if Jesus comes back, they're gonna kill him.
They're gonna kill him.
Again. That's like, they're like, no.
They're gonna kill him. Yeah.
Or any Messiah for that matter. They were like, because it's not, if there is an actual Messiah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not a religious person. I study religions, and I like to read about them out of curiosity, but I really don't.
Likewise. Yeah.
Like I love Joseph Campbell. I love his books.
Me too. Yeah.
It's part of human history or human evolution, but I don't subscribe to any faith, because I only have faith in myself and my own abilities. So I mean, it's just like, and I'm not an atheist. I mean, I do believe there's a creator, but I don't think it's this guy or that guy or the guy. It's none of these guys. It's like,
I think Campbell said it best. It's like we're all like blind people touching an elephant.
Right. Yes.
And then trying to describe it. I think he said it best that way. It's interesting because I had my conversations with my son. My son leans more on the hard science. He's sort of softening a little bit on that.
Right.
And he said once to me, what's the point of religion? And I said, well, forget this science versus religion.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not going to get any science out of like fairy tales.
Right.
But religion is the domain how we interact with each other. Mm-hmm. So it's a set rules of like, all right, you don't kill someone. Okay, well, we got a story over here. This guy killed this brother, and this is what the fallout from it. Mm-hmm. So just warnings and ways of us to manage. It's social.
Right.
Once you start getting into magical gobbledygook, and the magical gobbledygook is there for a reason. It's how stories survive. Mm-hmm. It is, but we are like, oh, it's all about the magical gobbledygook. No, it's not about that. It's actually just telling you, please don't cheat on your wife. Don't do this, because it leads to problems. Right. That's it.
That's it.
It's very simple.
They're cautionary tales.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I wouldn't consider myself an atheist. Maybe some might describe me as agnostic. Mm-hmm. Totally believe that there's something behind all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm of the opinion, this is my opinion, when people say, and I see these articles, it always cracks me up. Oh, the universe might have consciousness. I'm like, well, wait a second. We're not separate from it.
Right, we're part of it.
So we have consciousness, which means it has consciousness. It's just it looking at itself.
Right.
We are part of all of this.
Yeah.
And missing out on that, we're not getting that. We're not separate fucking units.
We're all one planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
one all people, you know.
My thing is, you want to believe what? I don't give a shit. Want to believe crocodile? No problem. Now you want me to believe the crocodile, man. Now we've got some fucking problems,
Right.
right? You know, it's crocodile man is great for you. Don't ask me to believe the crocodile man.
Right.
And Messiahs are very unique in terms of the place that we call the Middle East, which is a British term,
Right.
the Levant. It's not you don't see it in Taoism or Confucianism or any other thing where one person's going to come save everybody. That's got us all fucked up,
Right.
in my view. But anyway, I'll shut up.
A friend of mine was telling me about Muhammad when he was born. He came out of the womb and he was talking, and I was like, oh, well, that goes back to Buddhism, you know, or Buddhism, where, you know, like Buddha's mom leaned on a tree and he came out and he stood up from conception and started spouting proclamations, you know. So I was explaining to him a lot of things. You can look at Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, and they all have roots that overlap, stories that overlap. These are all old stories that have survived through a variety of text, you know. They're all traditions that just kind of merged and then subdivided, you know, and
they go back to older things. But you take someone like,
right.
I remember years ago, one of my cousins, she's an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, you know, I'm an atheist. And I'm like, all right. I said, it's not particularly new.
Right.
I said, Buddha, Gautama, the original Buddha,
right.
He not only said, if there is a God and he allows the suffering, he must be cruel.
Right.
Think of this, right? And he says, if there is, then I will put together a path, which is the Eightfold Path, to help people deal with suffering.
Right.
So he didn't stop at the, oh, God's cruel and evil, throw up my hands, or there's no God, or whatever. No, but there's obviously suffering. How can we do this? So the idea of desire, the idea of hanging on to the past, and he gives a whole Eightfold Path. In that view, I think Buddhism is the most practical out of all of them. I don't even view it as a religion. I view it as a philosophy, because you could be Christian and still follow the Eightfold Path.
Right. Absolutely.
But you know, so the East is very different from us. They're more philosophical. And I think that's what's scared. Like the biggest enemy that one of the popes said of Catholicism was Buddhism.
Right.
Because it's fucking practical. You know,
right.
Granted, you do have the different branches with the Dalai Lama and shit. And they have their own weird, wacky shit too, mythologies. But when you look at it at its core, I mean, when they ask Gautama, you know, what comes after? He's like, don't ask me. I don't know.
Right.
Don't ask me that shit. I don't know. Right? I'm like, that's refreshing. He didn't say, oh, this is going to happen to you. And all that reincarnation stuff comes from the Jainism, which is the Hinduism.
Right. Exactly.
Still got attached. Yeah. So
they're all interlinked. They're all I'm the one. I read the Messiah. It's like, no, it's the same story, kind of like.
But Buddha never saw himself as a Messiah. He saw himself as a teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very different. I'm like,
right, exactly. This is like people would pray. I was at the Chinese New Year. We go to the temple and the Buddhist temple, and people are praying and then giving money to these monks and then asking for this and that, and they're giving readings or whatever. It's not really a reading, but it comes off that way, right? It's like trying to. I just told my son, I said, look how foolish these people are. I mean, Buddha was a teacher. He's not a god, but they're bowing to this idol of him. And right on the Buddha's walls, it says the path of, they have the whole story of Buddha. And so there, it says, Buddha's not a god. That's the first sentence.
No. He's just an enlightened one.
Right. He's just an enlightened one. That's it. It's like, but yet humans are fucking stupid and they bow and worship this image of him, and it's not what he intended.
Which is funny because Buddhism itself says all things are illusion.
Right.
But you would never hear two Buddhists, and this is I'm gonna pile a little bit on Catholics on this one, or Christians. If you said, "Oh, that's what Buddha looked like," they'd fucking laugh.
Right.
Like, no, he didn't. That's just a representation of Buddha. But Christians will argue over, "Oh, he was black, he was brown, he was this, he was that." It's like,
Right. It's like,
what's his teaching?
right.
You know, so but yeah, no, there is that. But then there's other places like Taoists don't have statues. It's
Right.
nature.
Right.
You know, the two forces of what we would call good and evil. Yin and Yang's probably the most brilliant symbol that we have.
Yes. I agree.
You know, I find all that Bronze Age Messiah stuff.
So taxing and useless.
Yeah.
It's like looking up to the sky. God help me. It's like getting hit with a rock. It's like, but then the extreme sadness is that we end up with this, which is these guys, which are these IDF soldiers talking about what they were commanded to do in the name of, you know, we got this here.
There was an atmosphere of stressing us out as much as possible, as if they wanted to push people to some place where they would do anything more easily, that they wouldn't care as much about who they were shooting or what they were shooting at.
Our
battalion commander got up to speak. We were waiting for him to give us some information and tell us what's going to happen. We knew we were going in the next day. And he said, the sentence still echoes in my head to this day. He said that the entry was going to be disproportionate.
We entered the city in a big hullabaloo, shooting like crazy. None of us knew what we were shooting at. There were those who shot at mosques. As far as I was concerned, if they didn't shoot at me from a specific mosque, then I had no reason to harm someone's religion.
The order was very clear. If a car came within 200 meters of me, I could simply shoot a shell at it. We needed to cleanse the neighborhoods, the buildings, the area of the neighborhood. It sounds really terrible to say cleanse, but those were the orders. I don't want to make a mistake with the words. I don't remember if it was the squadron or the battalion commander, but with a laser, he simply marked for us the line of homes that were to be hit. He said clearly, every house gets a shell. That was the assignment, and it was our job, the tanks, to do it.
Every time we got out of our
and that's the bad part of organized religion, of any faith.
Well, what's fascinating about that is, again, I always come back to Dune.
Yeah.
Dune was a warning about how religion and the cult of personality can lead to monstrous things. Like, I know the first two movies and the people who read the first book are like, oh, he's like Luke Skywalker. By the time you get to the third one, Messiah, you're like, holy fuck, this guy's a horrible human being. He even knows he's a horrible human being.
Which actually happens in the Heir to the Empire. Luke Skywalker actually switched sides and joins the dark side, which we'd never seen theatrically. But yeah, that's what happens.
Which I found fascinating. But Herbert did such a good job with that. I know a lot of people got upset. Oh, this is from the colonizer perspective. Absolutely. It's deconstructing the colonizer perspective. I know some people get upset with the Avatar movies too, but I see it's not meant to put up the people that they're colonizing. It's an introspection on the colonizer.
Right.
And that, I think when we watch movies, because since we've been kids, we see protagonists and we automatically think that they're good. But a story could be about someone who's bad. Again, like the stories I was telling you about, warnings.
Right.
These are the paths and ways that we follow. There's value in nightmares. nightmares are warnings.
Right.
Everything it doesn't have to be a pleasant dream.
Right.
You know? I think that's the other problem. And
Right.
it's sad. I'm sure those soldiers, maybe they'll be screwed up, maybe they won't. But the one guy seemed like he was very upset about shooting a mosque, someone else's religion. And it's very easy to say every person in the IDF is cool with what they're doing. But keep in mind, they've also been brainwashed for that shit,
Oh yeah, for a long
you know,
time.
for a long time. But
Mhm.
brainwashing isn't always even,
No.
you know.
I mean, the whole settler movement, they talk about blatantly brainwashing. There's a lot of interviews you can find of the grandmother of settlement movement in the 70s. She literally says we have to brainwash Americans. We have to brainwash their grandchildren.
It's because it's their kids.
You know,
It's
to fighting for this land. You know, it's just like,
it's quite tragic.
yeah,
In a great degree. It's tragic because
like paused. You know, it's like, can we move on from this and just can we try people to live together? Is it necessary to exterminate whole people based on a religion or based on a promise or based on some theology screwed up interpretation of theology, you know?
And there's layers to it. So there's the layer of the theology, but then there's the layer of the ones who don't believe in the theology, but are using the theology. Those are the real fuckers. And they exist in every religion. They don't believe it.
Right.
And I know I've mentioned this before, but there's that famous quote that everybody always gets wrong from Nietzsche, who was, I call Mr. Grumpy Pants. He said, God is dead. Usually people leave it there. But the full quote is, God is dead and we have killed him.
Right.
And in that sense, the people who use other people's beliefs to their own ends are the people who have killed God by doing that.
Right.
You know, and those are the people who are the worst.
Right.
Just recently we had Bibi comparing Jesus to Genghis Khan.
Right.
Genghis Khan would never have said what he said. If you read about Genghis, and I recommend anyone who hasn't read the books by the Jack Weatherford, recommend you read it. Genghis had a high respect for all the religions. As a matter of fact, his empire was one of the few empires that allowed people to worship religion or to be free from religion.
Right.
His only thing was he didn't trust people who had temples and churches because he thought that they were trying to hide something from God with their roofs. Because he worshipped the sky god. So he was an animist. But there's a lot of things attributed to Genghis he never did. Granted, he loved the rumors because it made him seem more ruthless. And that works great in the battle. But he actually thought that Christian women made awesome moms. It was a Christian tribe that helped them get his wife back and got him going into the whole conquering game.
Right.
And he got to the conquering game, at least according to Weatherford, because people kept kidnapping his wife. He didn't have a tribe. He had been orphaned, ultimately. And you read a story. It's an amazing story that this young kid who's left with his mom has no tribe because his father was killed. His father was a tribe leader. And he ends up becoming this world conqueror. Now, interestingly enough, he knew it grew out of hand. The empire was too big for him to control.
Right.
So it also serves as a warning too.
Absolutely.
But I went off on that because I thought it was pretty insulting that Bibi was so ignorant about Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan wasn't ruthless with anyone if they traded.
Right.
That was it. Want to trade? All right, no problem. Don't want to trade? We're gonna have a fucking problem. and he had to deal with all they literally called him the golden whip of God. Because he got the Muslims, the Christians, he kicked the Christians. He was one of the forces that kicked the Christians out of the Middle East. And he kept the Buddhists, the Taoists, all in check. So that's why they called him the golden whip. So this guy coming and saying this, I'm like, one, it's ignorant. Two,
yeah,
it was really just pathetic. But anyway, sorry, I went off on a rant.
No, Daniela Wise, she's like the godmother of Israeli settlement movement. she got sanctioned last May. But
Oh, she did. Wow.
so she's like the one that wants to push everyone out the West Bank and Gaza out into other neighboring countries. 79 years old. You know, she's been the main. Have you ever seen an interview with her? I think we played one that was the video that got knocked out. You know, Gaza arrows will not stay in the Gaza Strip. You know, she says Africa's big, Canada's big. The world will absorb the people of Gaza. How do we do it? We encourage it. The Palestinians in Gaza, the good ones, will be enabled. I'm not saying forced. I'm saying enabled because they want to go. In response to sanctions, Wise said hundreds of families are prepared to ready to implement settlement in Gaza immediately. So, and then, you know, when after October 6th and 7th, she started to change her tune and say that, oh, it's because of this. Is that why we have to do this? But she's been saying this since the 70s. It's not, and even more so, there's her popular interview with the BBC was, I think, like in 2007 or something like that, and she was still spouting this. So, like a one note type of hate monger.
Yeah. No, I've seen some interviews with her. She's not the most pleasant person.
No.
And it's sad. I mean,
it is sad. We got to wrap it up because I have to travel today.
All right, we'll touch on other things next time.
To be continued. Same
continued.
Bronx time, same Bronx channel.
Oh yeah, subscribe and smash the like button.
Smash that like button. and where can we find your art?
7robots.com, or you can find some of my stories. I haven't touched it in a while, but Ghost Metal on Webtoon. You can read some of the stories. Still halfway, a quarter of the way through Necrocon. Had to get other things done. So yeah.
And you can find my stuff on bxhcc.com or Google Bronx Heroes and check our stuff out. Thanks for joining us. The apocalypse is coming. Are you prepared, Miguel?
No one's ever ready for that shit.
We gotta get our Batman on, right?
I don't think that's gonna help.
Right.
But yeah. Let's hope we can avoid the apocalypse.
Let's hope so.
You know.
Bombing of
or in the true sense of the apocalypse, which actually is Greek for revelation.
Right.
That we kind of transcend the stupidity that we're living in now, not the end times.
Right.
So
the end is in the beginning, and the beginning is the end, right?
Yeah. Well, we reveal something about ourselves.
As above, so below.
Yeah.
Signing off.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.